Hi everyone, it's Leslie here from Stamping Up with Elegant Edges, and today I have this lovely fancy fold card. It's a new one for me. Let me just get it into shape for you. There. So you can see it from above, from the side, and when you see it in real life, it looks like an armchair. So I believe it's called a chair fold. Now, I saw this from an American demo. I have changed a few things. So this is my take on Maria's card, the chair fold card. So thank you, Maria, for the inspiration. Okay, and today I'm using the gorgeous papers, Impressions Abloom, and the stamp and die bundle to go with it. Okay, and from these stamps for the sentiment, I'm using with you in mind. Okay, so let me put that to one side and show you how I made it. You really have to excuse my croaky voice. As you can hear, I'm getting over the dreaded lurgy. Now what I have done is as much prep as I can to save my voice. Okay, you will find, as always, instructions on my Facebook group, which is Stamping Up with Elegant Edges. Pop over there, you are welcome to join. I've had to change the settings to private recently because I've had a few scammers get in, which is sad for all of us, really. Anyway, so, but you are welcome. I'll put the link to that group underneath. So if you can't hear the sizes, you will find them in my Facebook group. So I'm using one of the new in colours, Timid Tiger, to go with that gorgeous paper. Let me get my trimmer, my trusty trimmer that does everything. So I've got a 5.5 by 11 inch base. And let me get my little crib sheet to make sure that I don't give you any wrong information. I can put my, now you've seen them, I can put these to one side and give myself a little bit more working room. Okay, so I'm going to score first of all at 3/4 of an inch. Now I pre-scored to make sure I did it right. So 3/4 of an inch. I'm then going to move across to 2 3/4, but I'm only going to score for 1 inch on each side, and it's easy with a trimmer. It's 5.5, so I'm only going to go up to 4.5. It doesn't matter if you go slightly over, and then I'm going to press down from 1 inch to the top. So I don't want to score that middle section. And then I'm going to move it across again to 4 3/4, and I'm going to do the same thing, 1 inch at the top, inch at the bottom. Then I'm going to extend the arm to have a bigger surface, and I'm going to go to 6 3/4, and then we have a normal score line all the way across. So that's all my scoring, and now I have some cutting to do. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to turn it round, and I am going to cut from the second score line here at 2 3/4. So that was the 2 3/4 line, and I'm going to cut at 1 inch. So I'm going to pop it across in my trimmer to 1 inch, so I know I'm in the right place. Get the score blade out of the way. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to go from 2 3/4. So I'm going to put my little marker in at 2 3/4, press down, and I'm going to go as far as the next fold, which was 4 3/4 here. So from 2 3/4 to 4 3/4. And as always, you can always go slightly shorter and add a little bit with your scissors. Now for this one, again, I'm going to go at 1 inch, but I can't see it on that side, so I'm going to turn mine over. I'm going to put it in for an inch. I find it easier to do the same thing. 2 3/4 down to 4 3/4. Okay. And then what we're going to do is to pop it in the other way at 2 3/4 again. And I'm going to join, let me have it on the right side, 2 3/4, and I'm going to cut from 1 inch to 4 3/4 on that 2 3/4 mark. So I've got it in at 2 3/4. So I'm going to cut up to 1 inch and cut down to 4 3/4. It should be the cut line. Is that 1 inch? Yeah. Okay. Get my snips. No, not my snips. Here they are. And I'm just going to extend those little cuts because I didn't want to overcut it. I think I should have put a new blade in. It's gone a bit ragged. That's probably where I cut it at an angle, trying to get a better shot for the camera. So just tidy that up a little bit. Now on this bit, which was cut on the wrong side, first thing I'm going to do is just rub it over with my bone folder, just to tidy it up. And then just if it's still a little ragged as that one is, I'll show you in a second how to do it. So then we're going to fold. Now be careful, we do not want to fold on this line here, which is why we didn't cut in the middle. So I'm going to have one that goes up a valley. This one is going to be mountain. Let me just make sure it's in line properly. No, not quite right. And while it's like that, I'm just going to tidy that fold up a little bit, that score line. Okay, so this one is going to come up. Make sure I'm in line. Ooh, I nearly creased it. That's exactly what you don't want to do. If you do accidentally, you know, you can fix it. Now here, where I'm a little bit ragged, all I do is get an old emery board and give it a little rub with the edges of an emery board, and that soon fixes it. And then this one goes the other way. So we have mountain, valley at the edges, mountain, valley. We nearly folded that. Okay, so that's the basis of our card. The next thing we're going to do is to decorate. And I've got everything backed onto basic white card. This piece in the center is going to be decorated a lot, so I'm going to do that flat afterwards. Excuse me a moment. So I'm going to lay it out on here so we can see which way we're doing things. So all the sizes for these will be in my Facebook group, and I've just gone down 1/8 of an inch all the time. This goes across here, narrow piece for the bottom, and that's obviously for the back. So before I do anything else, let me pop these down so I don't lose them. It looks a little dark. Is that better? I think maybe that is. So let me put some glue on these. You can see, just pop it in the middle between the fold lines, and then a very narrow border at the edge. And this is all cut from the lovely DSP Floral Impressions. Every sheet is lovely. It's gorgeous. So I chose a sheet that had different colours, flowers going across. So I tried to keep these in the same order that the flowers were on the main page, but they're so lovely, I don't really think it matters. You've got a busy page, busy side on the DSP one and a plainer side. I just thought it would be a lot quicker this way. And then where's my narrow piece? There we are. And as always, when you've got lots of pieces that are quite small, you can see it doesn't use a huge amount of DSP. You just have to cut it to size. What I do is I lay it out on my card base just to make sure I haven't made any mistakes, either on the base or on any of these pieces. It's much easier to fix them before you've matted and layered them, and then before you try to stick them on. So this is going to go on the back, so I have to remember to turn it around that way. Let me do that. And all I've done, nothing original, is just plain white card, again 1/8 of an inch smaller, and I've just popped a little strip of matching paper on the bottom to decorate it, because I like a lot of space to write. Okay, now this one is going to go here, so we can pop that on now. So I'm actually going to put my glue on the base, but not quite to the edges. I'm going to pop a little bit on here, make sure I haven't left too much, but I'm not going too far up because I don't want it to squelch out and go all over that back piece. So I'm going to fold it under. Make sure I've got pink flowers on the left, yes. And that gorgeous peach is obviously one of the, pink is one of the new in colours. It's Strawberry Slush. It's really lovely. As you can see, I'm quite a pink lover. Right, so that's our base done. Okay, now there is one more bit to do, but I'm going to the base, but I'm going to do that at the very end. I'm going to decorate this, and from the dies that come with the Impressions Abloom, there's this lovely oval shape, sort of rounded oval. Sorry, the voice is kind of going, so you'll have to excuse me. So I've cut one oval in Timid Tiger, and I've cut one in Basic White and embossed it. Now, this happens to be a retired embossing folder, but obviously anyone will do. We don't see a lot of it, but I do like the hint of embossing that you see in the gaps. I think it adds something. Excuse me. So I'm going to pop this towards the top, making sure I've got equal gaps side by side. Now it only just fits. It's not crucial, it just needs to be kind of slightly nearer the top than the bottom. Okay, gonna make sure that's down around the edges. Now, you get two ovals, one cuts out a solid and the other cuts out this lovely, very narrow border. I could have cut it with double-sided sticky on the back, but I've run out. So, hence, I'm just going to put a fine amount of glue, wet glue, on the edges. Try not to make too much mess. I'm going to loose lay it gently, let it relax, find its shape, and then just ease it to cover the edge of that card. I'm trying to keep my head out the way. What I would normally do is probably lean over this a little more. Turn it over the other side. When you have a fine edge like this, it's easy to stretch it, so I'm trying not to stretch it. Excuse me. Right, so that's good. And now we've got flowers. I haven't stamped them, these are just die cut from the beautifully Impressions Abloom. And what I often do, when I make one, I often just die cut a second set, pop them in with the dies, and then I've got them ready. Right, literally, whoops, get it on the right side. It doesn't matter if you hang over this edge a little bit. You can always trim it off. I think I might trim it a little bit. Try and keep it within. Let's have it at an angle. There we are. That's better. It's fitted now. Over just a fraction. Yeah, try and leave that edge free. Okay, that's one. And then I've cut one of these. This goes onto. All I've done here at the base is to add a little dot of ink, just with a blending brush, or you could do it with a dauber. So just assemble the flowers, just literally on the base. Whoops. One there, one there. Now I'm going to stick these down flat. I don't want too much glue because there are slits that the dies make to give it sort of dimension, and I don't want the glue squelching through it. So let's have it. How did I do it on there? Sort of like that. We do that. What I might do is trim that bit this time. We'll have a little bit of glue down here. Keep it down. Oh, well, I've got a different shape one, but you know, that we're fine. I put a dimensional under that flower center. again with that one, you can see there's a dimensional. Okay, got one here, just looking as though it's another stem. There are separate stems that I could have added, but I didn't really. I tried it and it didn't show whether I put it in or not, so I left it out. Make sure I'm putting glue on the right side. I'll pop one under here just to sort of fill in that little gap. Oops. No, it doesn't really need one, but we'll add one. Okay, for the sentiment, I've stamped Happy Birthday, as I showed, using the With You in Mind stamp set. And to fussy cut it, I'm not that good at fussy cutting, so I always pencil my fussy cutting line first. So I hope you can see that on the camera. If you can't, you literally take a pencil, find out how much of a white margin you want and draw around it. It's so much easier to erase it and correct it before you get your scissors on it. And again, I've done two, so I've got a spare one. And I'm just going to trim around that. Right, I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, back again. So I've fussy cut the edges. Got a little bit there that I could have taken finer line on. So easy to correct. Got an eraser, and just go over, rub out any pencil marks. I try and go from the middle to the edges so that I don't spoil that fussy cut edge if I can. Okay. Pop it up with dimensionals. So I only want it about as far as there. We don't need too many on it. Let me pick the backs off. Try not to be too heavy-handed with the dimensionals. So there we go. Find a little place. How are we going to put it? Just sort of there. I haven't pressed it down very hard at the moment on purpose. That's good, but obviously you've got to avoid that fold there. And now I'm going to add a little bit of bling. And my bling, I'm using the new in colour flat pearls, and I'm going to pick out that. Ooh, I could have the pink ones. I do like the pink, but I think the Timid Tiger would be better. Even though this base was peach pie, I still use the Timid Tiger. I think they're lovely. And so literally we're just going to pop a few on. Have one over here somewhere. A little medium one here. Oh, spare big one over here. Okay, pop those safely away. So here's the card from today. Now there is one little bit you'll notice on this one. When I stand it up, it stands beautifully because I popped one of those little sort of stoppers inside, and to make that you just need a scrap of card. suppose I ought to do it on my trimmer, really. You can see how I normally do them. And there isn't a right size. I've got 3/4 of an inch there. It could have been anything. And you literally just need to fold every 1/2 inch. Oops. Not with a cutting blade, so we get rid of that bit. So we need 1/2, 1, 1 1/2, 2. And we literally just need to go just a zigzag piece. And all I'm going to do is to I'm going to only put glue on one side to start with. So I popped it just round about this middle fold here. So I'm going to do the same thing again. It isn't crucial if it's not in the center, but obviously approximately center would be good. Just hold it a moment. It's important which way round you have your zigzag. So, okay, this way. To show you. Bit of glue on the other side. Hold it down, card flat. Just wait a few seconds. There. And now you can see it stops it splaying. So we have one that way. One that way. I've got quite a smooth desk, so it's quite slippy. So I hope you can see them. Shall I bring them forward a little bit? Is that better? Trying to see if the hammer's on them. Perhaps that's better. 2 cards. I hope you like this new fold. Come over to my Facebook group, Stamping Up with Elegant Edges, if I was so croaky you couldn't hear all the sizes. Okay, so thanks ever so much for watching today, and thank you for Maria for the inspiration. Bye-bye now.